Hello guys, you're welcome back to my YouTube channel. If this is the first time you are seeing me, my name is Ifeoluwa and I am an online fashion tutor. In this video, I'll be showing you guys how to draft and cut a perfect princess dart bustier, and it is beginners friendly. So you're going to be learning everything on how to draft the perfect princess dart bustier. So if this is something you're interested in learning, stick around and watch till the end. And if you're seeing this video and you also haven't subscribed to my channel, please do well to subscribe. Give this video a thumbs up and also feel free to ask your questions in the comment section. So let's get started. So these are the measurements I'm going to be needing for this tutorial. This is my bust measurement, the waist measurement, the bust point measurement, the under bust measurement, the across back, the armhole circumference, the front waistline measurement, and the back waistline measurements. So the first thing I'm going to be doing is to take my horizontal measurement. So I'll be starting with my chest line measurement, which is the armhole divided by 2. So I have my armhole as 14 divided by 2, which is 7. Then I'll take my bust point measurement, my under bust measurement, and then my front waistline measurement. So I'm going to do the same thing at the other side and then connect together. So I have this as the shoulder line, the chest line, the bust point, the under bust, and then the front waistline. So what I'll do next is to create my armhole, and to create my armhole I'm going to be taking my across back measurement, which is the shoulder to shoulder measurement. So I have 14 divided by 2, which is 7 inches. So I'm going to connect it from the shoulder line to the chest line. Then on the shoulder line I'll be coming down by 1 inch, and whatever I have left I'm going to divide by 2, and from that point I'm going to be taking in 0.75. Now on the chest line I'm going to be taking my bust measurements divided by 4. So I have the bust divided by 4, which is 8.5. Then I'm going to use my French curve to connect the 3 points together. Then I'm going to take my neckline measurement. So I'm going to use 3 inches for this one, 3 inches for the width and 3 inches for the length. So you can use any measurements that you want for this. So I'm just going to be using this basic neckline measurement. So you can go deeper or you can go wider for your measurements. Then I'm going to connect the shoulder slant from the 1 inch that we came down by to the neckline measurements. So I have this part as my center front and the other side as my side front. Now on the chest line I'm going to be taking the nipple to nipple measurement, which is 7 inches divided by 2. So I have 3.5 inches. So I'm going to take it on the chest line and on the front waistline. Then I'm going to connect together. Another way to get your nipple to nipple measurement is to use your bust measurements divided by 4 minus 1.5 inches divided by 2. So that's where you get your nipple to nipple measurements. Now towards the center front I'll be taking 0.5, and towards the side front I'll be taking 1.5 inches. So I'm going to do the same thing on the under bust, and then I'm going to connect together. Then I'll use my French curve to connect from the under bust to the bust points on both sides. And the next thing I'm going to do is to create my princess dart from the middle of the armhole to the bust point. So you're just going to use your curve to connect from the middle of your armhole to the bust points. So what I'll do next is to tighten the armhole area. So I'm going to be taking ½ inch on both sides. So altogether I have 1 inch. So I'm going to take ½ inch there and connect it back into the bust points. Then as I'm connecting this one, I'm going to extend the line. I'm going to extend it by 1 inch. So now we're going to replace the 1 inch that we took there. We're going to replace it on the line that we extended. So we're going to connect that back into the armhole. So we're going to have a new armhole. We're going to connect it back to the chest line. So it's going to be the new armhole. So on the chest line, I already have my bust divided by 4. Then whatever I have in that place, I'm going to replace it there. So I have about 0.25. So I'm going to replace it in that part and then connect my new armhole. So we're not going to be cutting out this armhole. This is the one you're going to cut out by the time you are cutting your pattern paper. Now for the waistline, I'm going to divide my waist by 4. So I have 6.25, and then whatever I have there, I'm going to replace it there. I have about 2 inches, so I'm going to replace it there and connect from my chest line to my waistline. So the next thing I'm going to do is to create my side darts. So I have 17 inches for the front waistline and 14 for the back waistline. So the difference between the two is 3 inches. So I'm going to be taking 3 inches by that side and connect it back into the bust point. So this varies for a lot of people, so you just make sure you take an accurate measurement for the front waistline and the back waistline. So these are the parts we'll be cutting out of the pattern paper. So this part we don't need it, this side that we don't need it, and also this part we don't need it. So you can now proceed to cut out what you have. So to be able to cover up the side that I won't cut this part out completely yet. So I'm going to stop a little bit before the bust point and also come to the side and cut out a little bit and stop a little bit before the bust point. Then I'm going to cover it up with my masking tape. So after doing that, you notice that the line is no longer straight, so you connect it back again from the chest line to the front waistline, and then you proceed to cut out what you have. So this is it for the front pattern. Now let's move to the back pattern. So for the back pattern, the first thing I'm going to do is to take out my zip allowance. So I have 1 inch as my zip allowance, then I'm going to connect together. Now from the shoulder line, I'm going to take my chest line measurement, which is also the armhole divided by 2, which is 7 inches, then my back waistline measurement. So don't forget, the back waistline measurement is different from the front waistline measurement according to the measurements that we have. So I'm going to connect together. So I have this part as my shoulder line, this is the chest line, and this is the back waistline. And then this line here is going to be my center back line. Now from the center back line, that is the line we made for our zip allowance, I'm going to be taking my across back measurements, which is the shoulder to shoulder measurements, which is 14 inches divided by 2. Then I'm going to connect it on the shoulder line down to the chest line. Then from the shoulder line, I'm going to be coming down by 1 inch, and whatever I have left, I'm going to mark that point and come in by 0.5 inches. Now on the chest line, I'm going to divide my bust measurements by 4. So from the center back line, I'm going to take my measurement and I'm going to connect together. Now I'll take my neckline measurement. So I'm going to be using the same width I used for the front, which is 3 inches, but the depth I'm going to be using 1 inch. So this also varies it depends on what you want for the measurement. So you can use any neckline that you want, that you have in mind. So I'm just going to use this basic neckline. Then I'm going to connect the shoulder slants together like that. Then on the waistline, from the center back line, I'm going to be taking in 1 inch and I'm going to be connecting it back to the chest line. So it is going to be our new zip allowance. So the reason why I'm taking this 1 inch is because the back is not straight. So by the time you take this 1 inch, you're going to have better fitting. So this is going to be the new zip allowance. Now from the new zip allowance that we made, from that point, I'm going to be taking my waist measurements divided by 4 plus 1 inch for that. So I have 7.25 altogether. So from the chest line to the waist line, I'm going to connect it. So we'll move on to take our dart measurement. So for the dart measurement, we are going to be taking it from the original line, which is the center back line. So I'm also using 3.5 inches for the dart measurements. So I'm going to take in 0.5 on both sides, then I'll connect together. So you can leave the back like this, but if you want the back to also have princess darts, you can just connect from the chest line into the middle of the armhole like that. So I'm just going to connect it together this way. So this is it for the back. The princess dart at the back is very much optional. It just depends on what you want. You can leave it the way I made it the other time, or you can just proceed to make your princess dart. So you can go ahead to cut out the back now. So this is how it should turn out after cutting. So I hope you guys enjoyed this tutorial. This is the end of the tutorial. I hope you enjoyed it. Please do not forget to subscribe to my channel if you haven't done that yet, and for those who have, I really appreciate you. Thank you very much, and I'm going to see you in my next video. Thanks for watching. Bye.